Hey there, property managers. Jay here. Have you ever wondered how you can compete with the big boys like Pure, Mind, Home River Group, these mammoth companies that seem like they just keep getting bigger and bigger? They seem unstoppable. But let me let you in on a little secret. They also have some serious chinks in their armor. So if you're a smaller company or a newer property management company, you definitely have some advantages they can't touch. Today, we're going to cover 7 strategies that'll help you turn those big company pain points, like lack of personalized service, communication breakdowns, losing owners, into your competitive advantage. Ready to learn? Stick with me. All right, welcome back. When it comes to big property management companies like Pure, Mind, Home River Group, well, they have size, but that also comes with a lot of challenges. They struggle with lack of personalized service, clients just feel like a number, communication breakdowns, people can't get in touch with anyone when they actually need help. And let's be honest, how many times have you heard they don't even answer the phone? And these are areas where you're going to be able to shine through. We're going to be talking about 7 strategies where you can take your skill sets and win the business that these other larger companies just can't compete with. If you're starting off small, this first one is going to be very important to you. Personal service and direct access. Let's face it, when you have a new company, you are the point person. You're the face of the company. As you scale and get bigger, you can remove yourself. But when you're smaller, that is an advantage. Big companies, they forget that personal touch matters. One of the biggest complaints that we hear about large companies, clients just feel like another account. And I'm sure you've heard that before too. So use size to your advantage. Offer clients direct access when you're small to you and your team. When clients call, they get a real person on the phone, not a long voicemail menu where press 6 if you want to be in touch with this. People don't have patience anymore. They don't want to wait to figure out, okay, what do I need to press? And then do I get to this number? And then I'm supposed to be redirected to maintenance. Things get confusing. And take it from someone who's been through acquisitions before. We grew our property management company to over 1,000 doors in several states. And part of that was through acquisitions. When you acquire other companies, guess what? That other company has a whole bunch of different types of employees, systems, company culture. Everything's different. And bringing them into the fold, there's a lot of pain points. So quick response times are definitely your advantage. Direct involvement creates trust and loyalty that the big boys, they just can't offer. Your second advantage, hands-on property management. Big companies, they can't be everywhere, but you can. The big players, they rely on tech and outsourced teams. Quite honestly, there's some of these big companies like Pure, for example, they are a tech play. They will tell you they're a software company when the average consumer looks at them and says, well, this is a property management company. No, they claim to be a software company, a tech company. And they outsource their teams, but which is good. We want global staffing, but we also don't want to have the gap in communication, which is what we see with the larger companies, because they use typically staffing agencies instead of direct hire remote team members, which is an advantage that you have. Build relationships with the tenants and show up for your clients. And when you do this and you're a smaller company, you can build a strong foundation that then your culture can grow with as you start removing yourself from the company as you grow. This is your key advantage. This level of attention, it builds loyalty, it ensures clients feel cared for and not lost in the shuffle of this massive portfolio. Now, third advantage is clear, consistent communication. And I always say communication is the foundation of any good relationship. This is where the big companies really drop the ball. Clients complain about not being able to reach anybody, emails never get answered, calls aren't returned, and they don't know who to get in touch with for what, and they end up being confused. You make sure you know this, right? The knowledge is power. And when you're talking to clients who are questioning whether they should stay with that company or not, you know what to say. You know what pain points to really press on. So stay ahead, offer consistent, clear communication. Make sure that when you got a lead coming in, you're responding to them quickly. This is your opportunity as a small company. Start culture of clear communication and quick communication from the ground up. Do regular check-ins. Be proactive about updating your clients so that you can create longer relationships. You spend so much time bringing on a new door, so does any company. Why not increase the level of service, prove that relationship, and keep that customer longer? Because that's going to add dollars straight to your bottom line. Your fourth strategic advantage are tenant-centered retention programs. And yes, the big companies can have these in place too, but typically we see them not managing those programs as successfully. And these are called resident benefit packages. You keep tenants happy, the property owners stay happy, because why do they have a property? Why do they hire a property manager is the better question. Well, to take care of the property, to account for all the funds, and to be hands-off. At the same time, remember, they're investors. If you keep a tenant happy, the tenant stays in the property, there's lower vacancy rates and higher returns. Big companies, they're slow to address tenant needs. They're great at staying on top of their resident benefit packages, and you can offer more personalized, value-driven loyalty programs for your tenants. You can have community building events, really take a grassroots approach. And as a smaller company, if you build that foundation first, as you grow and start to remove yourself from the company instead of a business operator being a business owner, then you're putting in place the right foundation in order to do that. And when tenants feel valued, they do end up staying longer. Your fifth strategic advantage, customized solutions and flexible contracts. Now, big companies, very rigid, one-size-fits-all service. Now, we tell our coaching clients to standardize as much as possible. At the same time, if you need to make exceptions and you have a system in place to do that, you can. And you don't have to go check with 10 other people to do that. You can make that decision right on the spot. With big players, everything's prepackaged, rigid, but you have the ability to make changes. Maybe a client needs help during a transition, or they only need a certain service. It's those shining moments where you can step in, where the client is going to be forever thankful. Number 6, your niche market specialization. Find the gaps that the big guys are missing. The big companies, they tend to focus on the mainstream, but they often overlook niche markets like luxury rentals, eco-friendly homes, expatriate housing, veteran housing, or whatever is your niche. Stick with that. Really clearly define your avatar, your ideal client. And then when you're bringing on new doors, you're bringing on the people who you know, like, and trust, not just the people that know, like, and trust you. And when you dominate one of those niche markets, you end up being the go-to expert. When the big players, they sometimes just spread themselves too thin and they'll take any old door because they're reporting to investors. Number 7, have a reliable vendor network. You are grassroots. You know your vendors. You know your techs, who's repairing the HVACs, who's doing the handyman service. Big companies, they'll hire these big vendors. They charge higher prices and they're not as service oriented. So that is a secret weapon of yours that most people overlook. You can build your trusted local network of vendors who understand how you do business and they fit into that fold and they'll do what you ask of them. When clients see how quick and effective their maintenance issues are resolved, only strengthens the trust that you guys have together. So, conclusion, Competing with big companies like the Pures, the Minds, and the Home River groups out there doesn't have to be a losing battle. Focus on these 7 strategies and you can turn their weaknesses into your biggest advantages. Remember, personal direct service, hands-on management, clear, reliable communication, tenant-focused retention programs, flexible customized solutions, niche market specialization, and a rock-solid vendor network. The big guys, they might have the resources, but you have the relationships. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the big difference. Hey, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, be sure like, share, subscribe. More tips on how to level up your property management. Check in, tune in, watch. See you soon.